got here, there was no language school. And the only reason we ever started a language school was just a fluke. I just came through Jordan, worked on an excavation digging up a bird city on the West Bank, and I was there for 2 seasons of uncovering archaeological treasures. And there I uncovered something else. I uncovered the joy of communicating in Arabic. And the thing is, working on a dig, I had 12 Arab men from up near Jenin on the West Bank. And one of the things I had to tell them is be careful coming across an ancient clay pot or something. You don't want them to break it. Be careful. And sometimes they would like to see how slowly they could go. And I had to try to figure out how to tell them, hurry up. And it seemed like almost all the words I used on the dig were imperatives. And it took me a while to get away from the imperatives and try to be less imperative in my life. But it was one of those things, after I was here several years, some folks from California were going to come over. They wrote me a letter and say, how will we learn the language? That was a hard question. There was no way to learn the language. I tried to read through different historical periods of the Arabic, and so I kept on reading. You might say, well, I don't need to read. There are a lot of Arabs who speak Arabic who don't know how to read very much, and certainly don't read medieval material, or they don't even read Najib Mahfouz. But I would say that the Arabic men and women who will make a difference in life are those who are able to interact with deeper thoughts, the thoughts that are put down on paper. That's one of the reasons I wanted to emphasize reading. But I had to figure it out. And so I said, I'll help these 2 guys, and I started to work on trying to find out the hierarchy of how to set up the whole verbal system and try to understand it. And those books I rewrote 5 times. One of the things I came to grips was that the brain got 2 sides, and that one side is picture and one side is ideas. And I was discovering that if you tried to teach the picture of how to write a letter, and also how to form your mind, and all these things all at the same time, something gets sacrificed. And so I found that with university students who came, that many of them thought they knew how to write the letters, and they thought they knew grammar. But I found out that the students who studied in our program knew grammar a whole lot better than a lot of those university students, and they certainly could pronounce the letters correctly, and people could understand them. And so I kept working on those things and studying it, and I drew some of those pictures to show where the tongue was. And I've tried out quite a few times, trying to tell people in America, just to explain to them where to put their tongue, and then they make an Arabic sound that they had never heard. And it was just amazing to them. And I found that only in this program have the teachers learned how to explain pronunciation. And those in Princeton and other places, they don't understand it. They don't understand the grammar. Many Arab men teaching in universities cannot match what our young ladies, I call them all young ladies, they were all young when they started, what our young ladies are teaching. They have gotten from the beginning how to take that language and make it part of life, and not as something as a subject that you're studying outside. It's part of us. You want to get to the place in your Arabic where people don't say, oh, you speak Arabic nicely. You want to get to the place they don't even think about it. They just accept you as one of them. That they don't say, he's a foreigner, but he's one of us. He speaks the way we do.